see here. Created speaker intro. Perfect. Okay. And double check that we are live. All right. Looking good, I think. Cool. All right. Well,
Great.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. VanderWel. I'm at Eviva. We are a bariatric surgery practice in Shoreline, which is near Seattle. Joined by Dr. Tan, one of the other bariatric surgeons, and a couple of our very wonderful patients that really were very kind to come on here. And we're very proud of them and just want to hear their story of what it's like to kind of go through the full spectrum of, kind of struggling with your weight ahead of time, considering surgery, how long it took there, having the surgery, what that was like, and what it's been like since then. Justine and Belen are our wonderful guests. They have had surgeries themselves, and they'll share a little bit about their story. They're at different time stages of the journey. So yeah, let's just do some quick introductions. Dr. Tan, you want to give us a start, and then Belen and Justine.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to hear both of your guys' journeys so far, just in terms of like when you started thinking about weight loss surgery, when you reached out, and then kind of just how things have gone since then. If you just want to tell us that process and what it's been like.
Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You want me to go first, Belen?
You can go first.
Okay. I actually thought about this 6 years ago. I had a client that was going to do it, not with Eviva. She was going to Mexico. I didn't know it was covered by my insurance. I probably would have done it 6 years ago. And so I was like, oh, that's not bad. How much they cost? So I joined the Facebook page that she told me to, and I kind of like watched it, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that because of, people had negative stories and positive stories, and like just some of the stories of like, oh, if you do it here and you come back, your doctor won't follow up with you. And there was no follow up with them after the surgery. It was just like, okay, here's your surgery, send you on your way. And so that's why I was hesitant to do it, 6 years ago.
Wow.
And
yeah. That's the pretty common answer. It's about 3 to 5 years of people thinking about weight loss surgery before they actually pull the trigger.
Well, I wanted to make sure I tried everything because I thought, oh, this is just the easy way out. Like I was one of those that thought, oh, this is the easy way out and I can do it differently. And then Belen was like, because we worked together, she came in and she was talking to me about her journey. And I was like, you know what? This actually doesn't sound that bad. And she told me about Eviva. And I'm a type 2 diabetic, and I'm on like 4 different medications and things like that. So I was like, I was tired of it. I wanted something better. And Belen's like, oh yeah, I'm getting this done. And this is how they do this and stuff like that. So I just went on for a consultation. I was like, you know what? I'll just talk to them and see what they say. So, and I kind of liked how it wasn't just, hey, you have the surgery, you're on your way, but you guys do a year follow up too. And I was like, oh, this is actually a really supportive process.
Oh yeah, you get sick of us.
Yeah.
Belen, how long did you think about surgery, and what was kind of your thoughts of like, oh, surgery that sounds crazy, or like, oh, this always seems like a reasonable thing, and what got you to finally, take that
Make
step?
the decision. Yeah. So I have been in this like up and down weight loss journey for like 10 years. Like after I had my first son in 2014, I don't know, my body hit it was like my body went into shock, and then I just had a bunch of like health issues. Like my white blood cell count was always super high. I had arthritis in my knees. I got Bell's palsy. I got it was a bunch of stuff, and then my weight just started going up. My family doesn't have any history of obesity or anything like that, so it was frustrating for me. You being like the smallest one in the family now, it's like, and the only one that goes to the gym, mind you.
Yeah.
Was getting bigger. It like made no sense. And I did all the CrossFits. I did fat camp. I went to like a boot camp. I've tried keto. I tried the medications. I've tried so many things. I got like a personal trainer at some point, nutritionist. Of course, that costs a lot of money, so it wouldn't last very long. And then it was just a moment of feeling defeated because I tried doing it through state insurance once a few years ago. And of course, their requirements are like, it's like you literally have to like probably not eat for like the whole 6 months to meet the requirements.
Yeah.
And I felt so great. I got a binder. I was watching everything I was eating. I was writing every little thing I ate. And to not make it because my body just refused was so frustrating, because I'm just like, why is my body not doing what it's supposed to be doing? I would get blood work constantly. I was like, maybe I'm deficient in something and that's what's causing it. Like, maybe it's my high cortisol levels and I need to take magnesium, or like I need to relax and self-care and like all the things. And it just like, my body just was like, nah, we're just gonna stay where we're at and let's just get worse. And then had another baby January of 2024. I actually lost more weight than when I first started with my pregnancy, and I was like, okay, maybe my body reset and I'm good. And I hit the gym within 2 weeks. Like, I was slowly, but I was excited to get back in it because my weight was going down. And then I saw it rising again, and I was like, why is this happening? And I just remember expressing to my supervisor, because we have coachings every week, and I was just like, I'm just so frustrated with my body and I'm just over it. And I had a realization, like a light bulb moment, when, you know, when someone takes a picture of you and you're not expecting it, and then they send it to you and you're just like, that, I don't even know who that is. And I didn't want to send it to my husband, and because I was like emotional about it. He's just like, he got into my phone and he looked at it because he was like wanting to know what I was talking about, and he's like, babe, you don't look like that. And I was like, but that is me. That's me. And I'm tired of it. And so I told my supervisor, and she was like, well, why don't you talk to this person? Like, they've had weight loss surgery before, like, get more information on it. Like, I know you've been kind of talking about it, like, and she had it here in the States. And I was like, not Tijuana? And she's like, no. And I was like, I didn't even know because that was the biggest thing. I was like, I don't want to go. I love my people, but I'm not going to Tijuana. Like, I'm not going over there. It's like, it just seemed like so much money, because I know they want it up front. They don't have many options. And so when I heard about it, all I got was a link, and just like, see if your insurance takes it. And literally, like, the next day I had a consultation with Dr. Tan, and it was just so easy. And she's like, yeah, and then we talked about all the things. And like, after like a few minutes, the coordinator had reached out, and she like scheduled everything for me. She's like, I'm gonna send you some links to like the psych eval. And like, it was just so easy. It was just like a checkbox, and it just felt natural. I didn't even talk to my husband about this. I literally got home and I was like, by the way, I had a consultation for weight loss surgery and it's happening, so just deal with it. So he was just like, what happened? And it was so easy. I didn't realize how easy it was. And I always thought I had to go through my doctor to do this. I didn't know I could just make that decision. And so it's like all the unknowns, right? Like, we're just revealing themselves. And it's as easy as literally also calling your insurance and just saying, hey, by the way, do you guys cover bariatric surgery? And they're just like, of course we do. And then they're just like, so that made it easier too. So I feel like people just don't know, and they think it could be cosmetic or something, and it wasn't. And I feel like that made my decision a lot easier, because I knew that there was options. I knew that there was financing options at the end of it if I couldn't pay it all up front. So that just gave me so much more peace of mind. And there was no question. I'm like, I'm doing this because I'm doing it. And that was it.
That was really powerful. Thank you, Vaughn, for sharing that. What because this is what people are always wondering. They're like, well, if the surgery just helps you be on a diet, why can't I just do the diet? Like, what is it like? Like, ladies, like, share with people the difference between healthy eating in small portions, what you're trying to do before surgery, when you have a normal stomach, versus like after weight loss surgery.
My struggle with that, because I have an emotional relationship with food. So that was my struggle with healthy eating. It wasn't so much like the portions, it was that food noise in my head that was like, oh, this is not going to satisfy you in ways as if you go down to the Taco Bell and you get this. Because to me, it was an emotional attachment. And so that's what I struggled with. Like, I'm a diabetic, so, I couldn't eat specific things anyways, but I was still overweight. Like, and that didn't help. And I remember sitting at my desk at 2:30, and I was on Ozempic. And I didn't lose squat. So, and I'd be sitting at my desk at 2:30 and I'd still get the whole food noise of, oh, you want to eat this, or oh, that would taste good, or does it taste good, or would it make me feel good? And then the regret comes afterwards. And that's one thing why I feel like this helped me was because it's helping me break up with my emotional relationship with food, because it's not just about eating smaller portions, it's about making the right choices, because if you don't, you get physically ill. And that's what I need. I kind of need that like smack on the hand so I can really think about it and realize I invested in myself for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine was more I feel like my relationship with food was a little different because I would constantly see the scale go up regardless of how hard I was working. It was almost like not that I was afraid of food, but it was more like I was mad at the food. Like I'm meal prepping and I'm doing all these things, but I'm still gaining weight. So what is it? Like what am I really doing wrong, right? And so after starting like the whole process, of course, they kind of like prep you for what like your meals are going to be like before surgery, like right before you start cutting, right? You start cutting your carbs. After that, I started realizing when she put me like to 80 carbs, she's like, try doing 80 carbs a day. And I was like, okay. I was forced to read labels now because I didn't realize like everything that I thought was like healthy was really not healthy, right? Like
Yeah.
if I wanted one of my kids' applesauce pouches that I steal in the middle of the night, that's 17 grams of carbs. And I was like, oh my God. Like I always thought like fruits and vegetables like didn't count. So, like that should be a rule. And so I didn't know that. So now I was like, it opened my mind to like, okay, maybe I was doing okay, like in the plate it looks nice and healthy, right? But what's really in your food? And so that's where it kind of was like, oh my gosh, like this whole time, right? Like I'm thinking I'm making healthy choices, but I wasn't really looking at the labels and what's in it. It was just because they say white rice is healthier and because they say like, eating like fruits and vegetables. Okay, but how much of it? So now that I'm after weight loss surgery, people are constantly like, how can you like not eat that much? And it's like, I was like, I feel like eating a pretty decent portion. It's just now I have to prioritize what's really healthier for me versus what is not, because if I get full on what's not healthy for me, I miss that opportunity to eat protein or what's actually going to like help me continue this weight loss journey.
Yeah. Do you think that the way that you eat now, like eating healthy food, small portions, do you think you could have done that before surgery?
No way. Not with my relationship with food, no.
And
I say no only because I love heavy lifting in the gym and that makes me more hungry.
yeah.
I realize that and it would be really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the one I tell people is like, this is a tool and this is what helps us. The journey, right? The path of success here is healthy food in the right portions with doing healthy behaviors as well. And this is a tool to help us be on that path. And the tool really what it does is it just makes it so instead of fighting your body to make those to be on that path, all of a sudden you're just like working with your body. You're going downhill instead of fighting this uphill battle.
Yeah.
What's been recovery been like for you guys? I know you guys are at different time points in your recovery, so maybe when was surgery and how have things been over the last few months?
You can go just because you just had it. So
I'm 4 weeks post-op. It's okay now. But Lynn was right when she said the first 30 days suck. They do. I'm not gonna lie. Because I had to do a pre-liquid diet because of my Ozempic and things, and so that extended my liquid phase because of the whole doing a week after. And I took 2 weeks off from work, and so by the time I came back to work, I was on purees, and let me tell you, when I was home, I hated it. I hated the gas pain. I didn't have any pain from my surgery in general, and I don't know if it's just because I naturally have a high tolerance for pain, but it was the gas pain that really made me like, I hate this. I remember waking up the Saturday after surgery, and by the night I told my husband, I was like, I don't know what I did. I totally regret this. This is so stupid. Like, why'd I do this? This sucks. I'm in so much pain. I'm hungry. I'm going to punch someone in the face for a hot dog. Like, I just totally regretted all my decisions. And it was a struggle because you kind of have to take the time, especially someone with an emotional eating habit and emotional relationship with food, like you're kind of breaking that up like cold turkey. You're not working slowly with it, and it's like I'm forced to eat things, and then things I ate pre surgery, like on liquids, like certain broths I could eat that would sustain me. Afterwards, I was like, it would give me the ick, and I haven't touched it since because I'm like, I don't want the ick. And so, I felt like my window was getting smaller of choices, and I was just like trying to hustle my way into getting into purees because I'm like, oh, one more week of this. I don't know if I can do protein shakes now, and it was a struggle. It is. And then going back to work and having purees and everyone's staring at your food because everything's mushy and you're eating the weirdest combinations of things, but they taste so good, and just having like this much, and they're like, is that all you're eating? I'm like, yes, that's all I'm eating because that's all my stomach will let me eat, unless you want me to vomit everywhere, and so it was a struggle, and trying to get in your water and being like, get your protein in, get your water in, and all these things are just like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? Like, where's the freedom anymore?
How do you feel now?
I actually feel a lot better. The puree stage really helped. I got creative. I looked up, I bought bariatric cookbooks, and trying to give me more ideas. And then even just because I realized it's about being creative in the kitchen. And so now I feel better because now I can get creative and make things that I like. And actually, just seeing even stuff I can't eat right now, but I can in the future, kind of gave me hope of like, hey, I can get there one day and I'll still get that satisfaction of this that I used to have, but now it's in a different form, but it's still the same. And also reading that book you suggested, Dr. V, also really helped because I realized it's most my mind. It's not so much what I'm eating. It's a mental mind game.
The
You know,
Bariatric Mindset Success.
Yes,
Yeah,
that really
great book.
helped. That's
Yeah.
really helping me reset and look at things, and kind of be in a happier light. And just recognizing with my own body the changes that are not scale wise. Like, I've been off my diabetic med since the day of surgery, and I went and saw my PCP, and I showed him my sugars, and he was like, well, let's do some labs just to check your A1Cs. He's like, but I don't see why you should go back on them until we get those results. And even having to double check my blood pressure because it was still too low. And he's like, you need to eat more salt. And being told that from a doctor, like, you don't have enough salt in your diet. And thinking like, well, yeah, I probably do have a lot, but not being enough. And just things like that that I never thought I could get, which I really wanted. And even just seeing changes, like coming back to work, everyone's like, oh my God, you lost so much weight just being gone for 2 weeks, and not realizing that because, you're stuck in this like, negative space because you're
Yeah.
struggling.
That space will be there for probably a couple of years for a lot of people where they're like,
Hmm.
you don't even believe the changes that that have happened. So
No, I didn't
it's
until it wasn't until my husband pointed it out because I just put on some clothes that I normally put on, and normally I like baggy shirts at home. But he goes, "Oh my God, that shirt's way bigger on you than it used to be." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And then I looked in the mirror and I went, "Oh wow, he's right."
yeah.
Because me, because I lived in such a fat body for so long, I don't put any emotion into clothes anymore. I'm just like, okay, this fits, this wears, this is comfortable, I'm good to go. Because I never felt like I could look good as a fat person, so I try to take that out. So seeing the changes and not realizing it, and then finally realizing, oh my God, yeah, my pants are getting bigger, and this, and the scale's changing, and I feel better. I overall feel better now.
Yeah.
Like I have more energy, and I want to do more things.
I'll be honest, I was reminiscing on my journey, so I forgot what the question is.
I think the
That's such
question
a
was,
Lynn thing
what
to
has the
say.
recovery been like? Yeah.
Oh, okay, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So, the moment I opened my eyes, I regretted everything. I regretted everything. I was like, what did I do? Like, it was like all the pressure, right? Like, all the anesthesia. Like, I felt like I could not breathe. It was like a weird feeling, right? Maybe I'm exaggerating. I don't know. Because everybody else around me was like chill, and I was the only one like in my mind. I felt like I was like hyperventilating, but
It's always a big spectrum.
yeah,
Every like if you have 10 people, there's going to be 2 people that are pretty rough and they're like,
yeah,
wow, immediately like I regret doing this. There's 2 people that are like, you didn't do surgery at all on me. I don't even know, like, I feel like a
yeah,
normal person, and then everyone else is kind of in between.
yeah. And that was me. And then on the way home, I slept the entire time, obviously, stopped to walk around and take some sips of water. The next morning, I was making French toast. So I could barely move, but I was willing to do stuff. Like I was moving around. I think the hardest part was like the incision site was a little tender for a week and a half. I wasn't able to bend or anything. I feel like what was hard for me was because my son at the time wasn't walking yet or anything, so he wanted me to hold him, and of course I couldn't hold him. So having to have a babysitter for a few weeks after my husband went back to work was kind of like weird because I'm like, I'm right here. I wish like I could do this, but I have to have someone there just to pick up my kid every now and then. It felt weird.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've had a great recovery. The only hiccup I had was, and I'm sure Dr. Tan probably remembers when my husband called her. It was like probably week 3 or going into week 3. You know that ghetto saying, "F around and find out." I effed around and find out because we went to the mall and Froyo was there, and I was like, you know what? I don't know why we think cold things just heal things, right? So I'm over here like, if I just have like a spoonful or 2 of some Froyo, like the basic Froyo, like no flavor supposedly, I'll be fine. I was not fine. I passed out. Like I passed out. It was coming out through the back and the front, and I turned gray. Like I remember my husband looked at me and he was like, "Oh my god!" He ran to me, and I collapsed. And then he called doctor, and she's like, "I think you got food poisoning." But in my mind, I knew it was because I had sugar when I wasn't supposed to. But I was like, "It's just a spoon or 2." Like, but I was like trying to speed up the things, right? Because you get so frustrated with the limitations that you have the first few weeks. That's why I told Justine the first month's gonna suck because you want to move on and you can't yet. You have to trust the process. And I had it the day before Thanksgiving. That
Oof.
was
Yeah. The holidays are a tough time.
yeah. I mean, I think the only thing that made it hard was that everyone else felt bad for me. Like, because I only had my chicken broth and with a spritz of lime, and that's all that I could have. And people were like, "Oh my god, like, is there anything else you can have that I can make you?" I was like, "I'm fine." Like, in all reality, you don't really want to eat, but it's when everyone else like looks at you like, if you pay 5 cents a day, you can support this woman in like eating, like, in the arms of an angel moment. Like, I feel like that's what made it hard because they look at me like I'm disabled, and I'm just like, no, this is a part of my process. But I think that was probably the hardest. Now I just feel like I forget that I had surgery. Honestly, life's just been great.
Have either of you had dumping syndrome after weight loss surgery?
Just once.
Well, it
Just
sounds like that was the
Froyo.
dumping right there.
Just the Froyo incident of 2024.
That, and I think month 2, I think I ate a little too fast. I was in a rush or something, and I took like a few bites too fast, and I felt like it was stuck in my throat, and then it just had to come out. But it was just that one time, and then I was fine. Like, I wasn't sick from it or anything. But I kind of like, my body's now on alert mode. Like, is that a good idea?
Yeah. Much more intentional.
Yeah.
See, I haven't, and sometimes I'm like, did I even have the surgery? But then I look at the pictures and I'm like, yes. But I haven't, but I also been more cautious because of Belin telling me about that. I did try some things to see what my threshold was because I wanted to know, like, where my limits are so I know, like, where I can go, where I can't. And I'll be honest, I did try to give myself dumping syndrome, but all I got was very nauseous. I did it at home. And it was something my mom made, and she had sugar in it, and it was with baked beans. And I was like, okay, I didn't eat a lot. I just ate a little just to see how it would react with me because I wanted to know if my sensitivity was to sugar or fat, because I've heard from my nutritionist how some people, it's not just sugar, it's sometimes high fat foods too. And so I just wanted to be cautious because, no offense, but fat-free cheese just,
What's the point?
And,
What's the point of that?
Yeah. And so I just wanted to see where I was at. So I knew, okay, this is my limits. This is where I need to, and I just got nauseous and I took some Zofran and I was okay. I've never gone anywhere. And I'm actually surprised because I used to struggle with IBS before. So I'm surprised I didn't get dumping syndrome more often because of that. But I'm luckily I didn't have it, but I've also been very careful because I don't want to get it because it doesn't sound like any fun.
I think a
Also,
lot of
sugar
people
and
think
beans sounds crazy.
Huh?
Sugar and beans?
Well, my mom makes this thing where it's like baked beans, hot dogs, bacon, and then you put ketchup and mustard. It's like we call it chuck wagon stew, and it was like I grew up poor, so you know, and so
Mexican
she
me
puts
is like, where's the salsa? Where is like the salt? Where is there sugar in these beans?
oh, because baked beans have all the sugars in them. And then my mom
Uh,
would put brown sugar in it. So I
brown
was
sugar
just
for
curious
sure.
of like, is
Yeah.
this my threshold? Am I a sugar dumper or am I a fat dumper? And so far I ate, then this was already when I was at soft phase. So I was able to have like cheese and things. And I had like half a cheese stick and I was fine with that. So I was like, okay, no, it's not fat. So let me try sugar. And you know, and being a diabetic, it's not like I had a lot of sugar beforehand, but I just was curious and it just made me nauseous. I didn't get the dumping. I did feel like it was ready to come back up, but not as bad as Berlin with the like passing out and things like that. And then I just took some Zofran, and I think that was like the only time I've ever took Zofran, and then I felt better.
Um, how has weight loss surgery affected your social relationships, particularly like when you're at a social gathering and there's food?
I'm fine. I feel like I get excited to order from the kids menu or like an appetizer because sometimes like even when before surgery I wouldn't really eat all the food again because I was like I want to eat all of it and then regret it later on. I do get a lot of like questions like is that all you're eating? You didn't even eat that much. And then that's an opportunity for me to educate them on like what I did. Um and because before surgery I was like I'm not telling anybody that I got weight loss surgery because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear you took the easy way out. I don't want to hear like all the things. And then after I had it, I was like, hell no, this is the hardest I've ever done. Like, I need people to know what I went through because it's not the easy way out. It is so not. It was like the hardest thing I've ever done. But it's been great. I feel like people now that people are educated on it, they're self-aware and they don't really it's like normal now when it comes to food.
Mm-hmm. I haven't really done anything socially, only because working and being a mom and stuff. We did go out a couple times as a family, but it was mostly on Saturdays with my mom. It's not so bad with my husband and my daughter. They're pretty cool about making sure I keep to my limits. My husband's really good about keeping me in check. Because he knows how much I wanted this. But my mom, sometimes I have to remind her, like, no, I can't eat that. No, I can't have that. And just kind of reminding her these. I feel like there's a little bit of self-sabotage, but like we went to a Mexican place and I ordered off the kids menu and they didn't even question me. I just wanted, beans, cheese, rice, things off the kids menu, and I still couldn't even finish that. And then we went for one place where I could eat eggs, and all I wanted was just like scrambled eggs, and they didn't sit there and say, "Oh, is that all you're gonna eat?" And I've told everybody when I came back to work because they were like, "How was your vacation?" And I was like, "Oh, I had weight loss surgery." I was like, "That's why I was gone for 2 weeks."
Another
and that's
one?
back
What
skinnier.
the?
And they were like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, you don't think like, hello, everyone keeps seeing my face. Like, I didn't go off and snort a bunch of, and come back thin."
Christine,
Like,
we are
I'm not a,
live. We are
huh?
live. We are
So,
live.
and I told people because I wasn't ashamed of it, because to me it's not something to be ashamed about. I wanted to people know that, hey, this is a journey. This is, so if anyone sits there and say you took the easy way out, I can be like, okay, let me rip you a new one about what it's actually really like, because it's not easy, you know. Because it isn't, especially emotional eater for me. It's been a struggle changing my relationship with food, but I've also actually encouraged my husband to get healthier too. He doesn't need weight loss surgery because he's not as heavy as I am, but it has encouraged him to want to eat better and be more active and do more things because I want to.
I think that's a really underrated part of the journey for a lot of people that have families and kids, is that I think, when we, this problem of obesity is very new, like even just from a generational standpoint. And when we can be good examples of healthy adult eating to our kids, then they will have a model of like, hey, when I'm an adult, I do need to be more intentional about my relationship with food. I need to be intentional about the choices and the portion sizes that I have. and how much, liquid calories I'm drinking. And I think that's really going to it's just going to elevate all of our family's health
Yeah.
in the future, because it's not going to get easier to manage your weight in the future. Like
It's
everything's
not.
getting
And
easier, food's getting easier. Yeah.
And see, I was a kid from the 90s, right? The 80s and 90s, where it was like SnackWell commercials and Slim Fast. And my mom would always remind me of my weight and being like, oh, you need to eat this, or you need to be this, or yes. So I grew up with a poor relationship, and I don't want that on my daughter. I don't want her to sit there and think of, oh, there's bad food, there's good food. I want her to just see it as like, oh, I'm eating to live, not living to eat.
Yeah.
No, I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about weight loss surgery, is that this is like going to be easy afterwards, that it's a magic bullet, and the
No.
surgery is going to do everything for you, which is just so far from true.
But I was gonna say, I have met people that did use it as a easy way out, like where they're not exercising, they're not changing the way they're eating, they did it so they could eat whatever they want but in smaller portions. And I noticed those people actually don't lose a lot of weight, or they gain the weight back. And I'm like, I don't want to be one of those people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I describe it as, you feel like when you're struggling with your weight, your body is like this car that doesn't work very well, right? Like the steering sucks, like the throttle's all jerky, the brakes aren't working. And what weight loss surgery does, it tunes up the car, but also gives you these guardrails around those dangerous terms, which is essentially overeating.
Yeah.
But to drive your car well, you need to, number one, know how to drive a car, know where you're going, and be paying attention, and not be trying to just, hey, I'm going to use the guardrail for this turn. It's like, no, we're going to be intentional about where we're going with this thing. Because if you use that guardrail to use to turn, breaks down the guardrail eventually, and it breaks down your car too. Do you have any regrets after having weight loss surgery?
My only regret is not doing it sooner.
Same.
That's it.
If for all those people that are out there and they're like, I'm struggling, I don't know if this is the right choice for me, what would you tell those, if you could talk to those people and say something like, hey, I understand you're struggling, it's hard. What would you say that they should, what's the progression that they should think, that they should pursue?
I feel like they should just do the consultation, talk to somebody, just get more educated on what's available to them, because one thing is thinking about it, and another is actually going through the process to see, is this something that's going to really work for me? Because after my consultation, there was no question. I'm like, I'm doing it, and I'm going to do it. And it's like, I didn't think about anything else. I didn't think about if I was going to have more kids. I didn't think about, like, should I wait, like, till later? Because a lot of people tell me just wait till later, like, just wait till you're done having kids. And I'm like, why? Like, why can't I start now and be healthy now and still have kids afterwards? Like, it's just, I always tell people that if it's been on your mind, you will not regret it if you have a really good support team. And I feel like Eviva offers that. I know that I have a coworker right now. She's starting the process. But she was like constantly asking me questions for weeks and months. And every time when I would eat something, she'd be like, and how does that make you feel? And like, but do you feel satisfied? But like, how are you doing? She would always give me this look. And I told her straight up, I was like, Mimi, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Stop asking me questions and just do it. And I was like, and she's like, I know, but I was like, no, like, I know you want to do it. I know you're thinking about it. And the biggest thing that people always tell me, the number one thing they always tell me, is that they're afraid of loose skin. And they're like, I'd rather just be like this. And I was like, but would you though? Like,
there's no one in the thousands of people we've taken care of has ever said, I wish I could go back and not have this loose skin again.
Yes.
Never happened.
And it is hard, because now you have to learn to love your body as you're losing the weight, right? Because the weight will come off, but it's like, now you have to work on other things. And that's where I encourage people, like, don't just get the surgery and just like sit with it. Like, I am in the gym 6 days a week because now I don't feel like I'm drowning in my body. I've learned to love it. I feel weird if I don't go. I love seeing that I'm getting muscle definition. I want to be buffer than your dad and your man. Like, I want to be buffer than, like, I want to have big girl muscles. I even looked into a body like body competition, like a show that was gonna happen in October, but I was like, I'm gonna give myself some time because
That's cool.
you know,
Yeah.
like I'm really motivated. I'm that motivated because I'm like I can do things now. I can like push. I want to see how much farther I can push my body. And yes, there is loose skin. Like you know, it's gonna happen. But the cool thing is, this is what I always tell people. You know, what's so cool? You can get it fixed. Like same way with surgery. Like you want a smaller stomach, if they could take something out from inside you, they could take something off from the outside of you. And I was like, and that's the cool thing. And I was like, scars are the least of my worries because they're gonna tell a story. Like I already know I'm gonna have to have like my arms like, and it sucks because I'm getting my biceps and I'm getting my baby traps and my little soup bowls that I call them. And like it sucks because I'm like I know that would look so much more prominent if I didn't have this loose skin. But I know like when I have it, like and people ask me questions, I'm gonna be so excited to tell my testimony because it's like this is what I went through. And I feel like that's what it takes. And I feel like that's what it's been taking for my coworkers to make that decision because I feel so positive about my journey. And because I was kind of like one of the first girls to do it, excuse me, I feel like I need to continue to like be that positive outlet for people. So like going to the gym, constantly posting like positive
Mm-hmm.
quotes about like mindsets and all the things like I feel like now that's my calling is to
Yeah.
change the stigmas on weight loss surgery.
I have the only regret I have is not doing it sooner, but I'm also kind of glad I did it when I did it because I don't think if I did it sooner I would have done it correctly, like now, and having the mindset I have now for it and wanting to change, not just, okay, I did the surgery to help me lose weight, but even just changing my eating habits and kind of getting more into that mental mindset because it is mental. It is all about, food is fuel. I'm living my life. Food is to fuel me, not to have an emotional connection and taking that emotional need and putting it somewhere else and fulfilling it in another way that's not around food. I know the same coworker always asks me, "Oh, how are you feeling? What are you eating?" And I'm like, "I actually felt great." The other day I had so much energy, I reorganized my office and I cleaned it up because I had time. And everyone's like, "Wow, you're so full of energy." And I didn't have no coffee. And I was like, you know what? I actually do feel good because people ask me all the time. They're like, "Oh, how are you feeling?" And I'm like, "Well, ask me at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm dead." But I said, once I get up and I get moving, I feel good. Like on the weekends, I get up, I take my vitamins, my meds, and then I go and take the dog for a walk with my family. And after that, I'm like, okay, let's go get this done and let's go do that done. And like, I feel more motivated to want to get things done. And I don't feel like, okay, I want to sit down and be like, oh, 5 more minutes. Like, I'm like, oh, okay. And I feel better in my skin. My husband's noticed. My other friends, actually, one of my coworkers noticed. She goes, "You're glowing." She's like, "I noticed there's just a better just energy around you. You're more happier." She's like, "It's not just you look skinnier." She's like, "You look happier." And I was like, "I actually feel good for once in my life. I don't feel sick after I eat. I don't feel like all the food is weighing down in my stomach. I'm getting my hydration in. I'm getting my protein in. Like, I feel like I'm actually eating to fuel me and I feel the fuel. And it's been motivating me to want to be more active. Like, I finally went swimming on the weekend and I had a lot of fun with my daughter and we were swimming. And then after that, we walked some more. And then Sunday came and we did more physical activities. I think I burnt like almost 500 calories in one day on Saturday because of just all the stuff I was doing and just getting up and do all the things and I can see my daughters notice the difference because I'm more involved now, um, and I get up and do more stuff with her. So
I will say Justine, before she had surgery, she would tell me because I would walk by her office and she'd be like, "You just look like, you just like, I don't, how would you say it? Like, you said like when you walk in, you just look more like, I don't know, like confident or whatever."
yeah,
And I was just
you
looking at
would.
her like, okay, like I didn't really see it. Like, I'm like, I just walking in like normal, like the Kool-Aid man. And like, and she was like, I don't know, you just seem like, like more sure of yourself. And
Yeah.
I don't see that because I've always been myself. Like I've always tried to hide like my insecurities with my humor. And so I just feel like I'm the same person. But like when other people can see it, it's so motivating because they're just like, oh my God, like you look different. Like you smile more. Like I've noticed you're changing the way you dress. I would wear a lot of pattern all the time. I mean, I'm wearing pattern today, but like I'm like getting the ick from pattern because I want more solid colors. Like I'm trying not to hide like my body now. And so it's such a process. Like it's definitely a roller coaster of emotions. But I don't feel like they've ever been negative. It's just been more like having that mindset of like this is just part of the process. It's gonna happen, and not like having the doom and gloom all the time, like, oh, like I hate this, like I'm gonna look ugly, like whatever. Yeah, it's a little sad seeing your body deflate. But at the same time, it's like I know it can be fixed.
Yep.
It's all part of the process, and I'd rather be where I'm at today than where I was. And it's just, it gives me more hope for the future. And yeah, I just tell people straight up, just don't think twice. And I'm not saying that you can't do it on your own, because sometimes I have those thoughts like, if I really would have really tried and hunkered down, could I have done it myself? And it kind of makes me sad to think like, was this me failing myself, right? But at the same time, it's like, no, like accepting that medical intervention can help you is it's just as powerful, because you made the decision to change your life for the better, and now it's like you're actually living. Like I'm so excited to do things now, and before I was just dragging my feet, and it just antidepressants and like all the things, when in reality it was just finally taking control of my life and being selfish for a little bit for myself, and it's just been rewarding.
Yeah, it has been. It is. I don't feel the shame when I eat lunch now. Like I used to like go off and sneak and buy fast food and come in my office and shut the door and hide what I was eating, and now I don't feel that. And it is more satisfying. Like I don't feel like I'm controlled by food. I don't feel like I revolve my life around, oh, what's the next meal? What am I going to eat for this? Like I feel like it's like I get to go out and live my life because I don't have this hold anymore, that I can go and be this person, and I'm able to make better decisions and things like that. And there's certain things I haven't eaten and I don't even miss. I'm not sitting there thinking like, oh, I can't wait for the next time I get to eat pasta again. I'm just like, it'll be there when it's there. It's okay. Like, and just having that mindset is totally weird for me. Because normally I'm like, oh, I can't wait to eat that. And I'm just like, it's just food. It means nothing. So.
And I'm at the place where I'm like, if I want a hot Cheeto, I'm going to have a damn hot Cheeto. Because I've been doing so good. I've been hitting my protein. Like, but again, in moderation. It's like, nothing is not never. It's in moderation.
Yeah.
It's knowing, it's like having the discipline to say, okay, have I even had protein today? If the answer is no, then no, that snack can wait, or that, that little portion of whatever is not healthy for you can wait. And I think that's the hardest part, but it's like helping you like prepare for the future after the honeymoon phase goes down, right? Of losing all the weight, like keeping up like the maintenance and all the things.
Yep.
So.
Well, ladies, you guys have been amazing, and it's been really nice to hear your stories, and really appreciate you guys sharing that stuff. And hopefully the people that are out there that are looking at like, what does the rest of my life look like, and where is this going, and like, do I like this path that I'm on, and I desperately want to get off of it, and they just feel stuck. And just, I think you guys really shared your stories, and I think hopefully they feel hopeful that there is hope, and that they can change their life, and things can get better. So and I just really appreciate you guys being here and sharing. So
We talk a lot.
Thank you for having us.
no, it's great. That's the point. That was they don't want to hear from me.
We work in mental health. We have to talk a lot.
We work with kids. I'm used to talking to kids, so it's nice to talk to adults. No,
I work with the parents, so I just talk a lot in general.
No, it's that's what we need. That's what they don't want to hear my story. They like they want to hear your guys' stories. So, yeah. But ladies, thank you so much. We're here for you all. If you're out there looking for help, Eviva MD. This is what we love. This is more than a job to us. It really is. It's a calling. Like I can't wait to be at work, honestly, and be helping people and seeing lives change. And this is why Dr. Tan and I got into medicine, is because we wanted to help people, and we see that obesity holds people back from their life, from their health, so much, and we have some damn good tools. So, all right, Dr. Tan, final words.
Congrats, you guys. This is amazing. I think it's just such a beautiful thing to just talk about your journeys, and you guys have done such hard work to get to where you have been. And I don't know if you remember, Belen, during our first consult, I probably told you that me and Dr. V have the much easier job of doing your surgery. Like, that's the easy part. You guys have done all the hard work afterwards, so congratulations. So happy for both of you.
Yeah, we're very proud of you guys, ladies.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work. We're here for you. And if you're out there, evivamd.com. Thank you again.